Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. And I know this is not a tea leaf that you're looking at. What you are looking at is the Two of Cups. Yes, that has everything to do with love. Love, love. Now, it doesn't have to be romantic love. Just off the top, let's agree upon that, right? That is one kind of love, but it is not the only kind. And so, Capricorn, every reading, I begin putting the thing together, right? Getting everything brewed and steeped and drank and ready to go. And I pull a card while I'm doing this. And I do that because I want to know what is like the entry vibe. What is the air going to smell like? What is the room going to feel like? What is, the next few days going to be like? What is the thing surrounding the situation we're going to be looking at? And in this case, it seems to be love, which I'm happy about. I'm happy. I need more of that in my life. More love, more rooms full of love, more encounters that feel loving. So, because I am a Capricorn ascendant, I am going to go ahead and take this as my sign that I will have more love flowing into my life. And I don't know about you, but I'm a firm believer that as we give love and we give it more and more freely, and I don't mean romantic love again, let's just be clear, we then attract love. Right? Friendships, family, reuniting, healing, building a new family, finding your chosen family, making bonds with people in the workplace or, in your community or whatever it is. There's room for love everywhere. Okay. So we're going to knock to be polite and we'll lift this up. We're going to take a look. So as I am recording this, it is October 7th, 2025. It will be coming out on October 8th, 2025. And I want to give you the date so you understand when it was recorded. And like, if you get a reading and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so on point. But like, I don't know. I want to see like what was going on in my life that day. And you go and kind of look, if you take notes on your days. I do sometimes. I keep journals. But other than that, all of them mixed together kind of. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to get started. And I also want to say thank you again. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Also, yes, that's what I want you to tell me in the comments if you are so inclined. Why are you here? What are your questions? What are the things that are driving you to watch divination? Probably watching some tarot, maybe some other kinds, maybe mediums or, life coaches or whatever it is. I'm wondering what is inspiring you? Are you just curious? Is it love, finances, work, children? I'm nosy, so let me know in the comments. All right, let's go. So we have a person sitting over here. It looks like they are... I'm going to go with the Empress. We also have the number 7 above her head. Below on the actual throne, we have what looks like the head of an Aries, a ram. We also have a ram down here. You can see here's the head and here's the body. So I think we're heavily dealing with an Aries person or somebody who... has the attributes of the ram, right? Which are usually pretty chill, maybe a little bit standoffish, but also in charge of keeping the safety of their flock, of their family, of their little tribe, okay? So they might go aggro a little bit once in a while. They usually like to just be left alone to do their thing, to hang out. Whatever. Very, very good under pressure. When something happens, an emergency comes up or whatever, this is your person. right? This is who you're going to call. So we have that energy, and they are your support person, I believe. Okay. Excuse me, I'm going to need a drink here in a second. I need some water. We also have a mushroom right there. You can see right in front of the Empress. And so the mushroom's an interesting one because it very much spans the entire planet. All of reality is interlaced with mushrooms, with fungi, right? If you've never watched any like documentaries about fungi or mushrooms, as we also call them, go and check it out. They have interconnected systems that span, like, they could be miles long. They are sometimes, in some species, actually one main, fungi, but they sprout up all over the place. So again, there's like this interconnected, almost kind of, omnitheistic, omnipresent thing, which is interesting. So interesting. And so I'm looking at this, and the other part of the mushroom is, maybe a little more overt, which would be that it is the key. I mean, it depends on the kind of mushroom, of course, but mushrooms as plant medicine are keys, okay? And I'm not just talking about tripping on them, okay? There are other kinds of mushrooms that we take. Like, I take lion's mane, every day in my pre-workout, and I really feel like the cognitive benefit is wildly represented. I'm not a great case for that. But, I do. I think that there's something about the relationship between humans and specifically fungi that is undeniable. Now, I'm not going to go full like Joe Rogan, McKenna, and say like this is what likely facilitated the evolution of the human brain, and therefore the consciousness also came with that. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm a romantic for these intelligences, the different mushrooms and chemicals and whatever that take you to different dimensions, right? I have a great affinity for these things, not so much currently in my life, but when I was younger. And I do feel like these are keys to, well, where is that other place, right? The borderlands, beyond the veil. But again, I'm not advocating the use of plant medicine or fungi medicine. Although I'm not gonna down it either. Just, be careful, do your research, be moderate, all those kinds of things. So to me, I don't think this is saying like you're some psychonaut that's out here like tripping all the time, although it could be that, and shout out to you if that's what you're doing. But what it feels like to me is that you just have this kind of innate connection to not only fungi, but plant life, animals. You are somebody who can commune with them since you were born. I mean, like, throughout your childhood, I'm imagining that you spent a lot of time outside and probably by yourself. And I think that you absolutely could commune with the things around you. They spoke to you. They led you. They, fully encompassed and interacted with you in this atmosphere. And here's one thing. You might think that this is a normal experience for kids. especially like the generations before that spent time outside that weren't on, computers and screens all day long. It's not. It's not a normal occurrence. I've learned this more and more. The more people I've talked to, which I do a lot, right? I talk to new people every day. And I'm nosy, so I like to ask them questions about their lives, especially their childhood, especially the things that they think about, the things that they dream about, the things that they wanted for, the things that they were able to get, all these kinds of weird, kind of maybe... really personal questions. But what I've learned is not a ton of people spend a lot of time out in nature, in their yard or riding bikes around town and communing with the things around them. This is more almost like, what's it called? Imaginary friend territory, that's also pretty rare as well, to have a kid that actually has an imaginary friend. So that all being said, if you don't know, or if you didn't know, you're very unique. Right? Somebody that I read that had a childhood like this was Louise Marie von Franz, right? She worked with Jung. She was one of his... I always take issue that she was yes, she was his student, okay? But she was also his contemporary in a lot of ways. Come on now. I hate that, it's Jung's devotee. Dude, her work... His work, of course, super important. Her work, other level. Anyways, in one of her books, I think it's the, which one is it? It's not the dreams one. It's, I'm trying to think. Is it the, let me see. I want to tell you because it's a very, did I get her name wrong? Is it Marie-Louise? Yeah, I always mix it up. Let's see, what are her books? I can't think of which one it is. It might be in the... it's not in the alchemy one. It might be the Dreams book. I don't know. I'm going to look. I have it in my bedroom. It's in one of my stacks of books. Oh, you know what? I think it's the Active Imagination book. It's what is it called? Alchemical Active Imagination. Or was it the Divination and Synchronicity? I think it's the Active Imagination one. Anyways, go check out Marie-Louise von Franz. One of the more important thinkers. And, even though I don't think she was technically, she maybe didn't view herself as a occultist or practitioner, but I would say this mama was definitely a high priestess of something. You know what I'm saying? If she wasn't formally, man, they should make a whole system just for her. So anyhow, I think that yes, you have this relationship with the other thing, right? Spirit. Your guardian angel, the daemon. Somebody the other day said, I thought you meant demon. A daemon, do not confuse it with a demon. Okay, daemon is Daemon. And this is your higher thinking. This is your consciousness, or not consciousness, your conscience, or the guardian angel, that voice that you hear when you're thinking about does this seem like a good idea? let's talk to the daemon about it, right? So I feel like there must be a return of some kind. Okay. I think that in this next cycle of time, it seems that you leave the home. We have the house over here. We have a person walking, I feel like there's been maybe, I don't know. We have the blackbirds. We have a few down here. We have some up here. We have two people. One looks almost like an angel. The other one looks like it's chasing these birds. Now, the blackbirds to me symbolize you're in the right place. You are among who you need to be with, right? But here's the deal. I feel like there's some work that needs to happen before you can get to that place. Okay, wherever you are, whoever you're with, whatever is going on in your life right now, I know that you feel like it is not the right thing. It doesn't, you wake up, you know you're not in the right relationship. You're not living in the right house. You are not doing the right work, right? It just, something fundamental in your life has felt wrong for a long time. And I think you maybe even, like a lot of us too, kind of feel like you get a lot of, it's like, oh, I'm grown up, I'm mature, I have a lot of power over myself, I'm refined, in that I can control myself enough to tolerate situations that don't feel right to me. Like my big example in my life thinking about this is conditioning children to learn how to sit for long periods of time without moving and fidgeting and needing to go to the bathroom. Why? I understand why, because I have a kid, and obviously sometimes you need to sit down and wait, right? But when they do it for hours and hours every single day, and all of that conditioning, it leads us up into adulthood. And what have we learned? That we cannot trust our physical or, inspired impulses, right? To kind of move, to shift, to need to stand up, to pace around, use the bathroom when you need to. This stuff is trained out of us. We're taught that there's some kind of righteousness in being able to sit down, be still, make yourself quiet and unseen and little. And that is some kind of, measure of success. The domination over self. Wow. I don't know about you, but I'm in my 40s. I just turned 40 recently. And the seams are coming a little bit loose. That conditioning just ain't conditioning too much anymore, right? So, I feel like for you, you are starting to really realize that some of the things that you have looked at your life and said, yeah, I've really got control of myself. I don't get sad when I hear something sad anymore. I don't cry when, it seems reasonable to cry because I have control over myself. Because I am in charge of my emotions. And I can stuff that stuff down as far down as I can and keep it held tight as long as I can. And that is success. Until it's not. Until it is not. So, I feel like you have that little tickle. You have that thing. It's going around. You're not the only one. It is the remembering. It is the reacquainting yourself with your being, with your body, your mind, your spirit. It is learning to forget all of those things that people told you about yourself. It is the beginning of, cleansing out the toxins of others, the other people's beliefs. And it's almost never, what they say to you is almost never about you. It's about them. But then you carry it around. It's a thought virus. It's a thought virus. And then on top of that, if that's not bad enough, then we go and set up families, right? When we end up dwelling, not always, if you're very lucky, you end up dwelling in a situation that mimics the stuff that needs to be worked on from your childhood. And it's stuff that is painful. It is an environment that is kind of supposed to be triggering to do the work. But sometimes the work doesn't get done. And sometimes the environment is far too intense for anything of worth to come of it. So what does that mean in simple terms? We find partners that resemble aspects of our childhood that we need to process through. Aspects of ourself that we don't want to look at. That stuff is going to come out in the people around us. It is a reminder from the universe. Now, there are times where we choose so well that we end up in the same kind of, environment that we grew up in. Or at least the energy, maybe hopefully not the exact same, right? And sometimes the work just can't be done there. Sometimes it is just about being in that environment again so that I can't live like that. However, I maybe forgot about what it was like to, go to bed angry, go to bed scared, go to bed worried that people were arguing, fighting, that there was going to be no stability. I'm trying to think of the most general kind of things that most of us go through, whose parents didn't fight, or, step parent and parent didn't fight. Who didn't have things going on at home. Here's the deal, though. When we end up in a similar stressful kind of situation, I truly believe the work has to be done on the other side of it. It's not our job to live out our parents' cycles. It's not our job to make a great and grand play of our life, to just continue to mimic those things. But where the work is getting yourself out of it and making sure that you don't end up in a situation like that again. And especially your children, right? So here we are. Let me get to it. I feel like you will be leaving some kind of relationship dynamic. If it's romantic, if it is your parent or sibling or a good friend or whatever it is, it has not served you well. And I truly believe that you know this. You don't need me to tell you. And I do feel like you're on your way out. Absolutely. I think that you are going to be out at least in the next few months. 6, 7 months. I'm looking at the 6 right here. Not the 9. It's not going to be 9 months. But I feel like the universe has your back. And honestly, I feel like as soon as you get away from just the chaos, emotional chaos, you start to really see okay, I have people, I have a good footing here, and not to mention, like, you're starting to see yourself more clearly again, because I feel like whatever has been going on here, it has taken so much of your energy that you can't see yourself clearly anymore. It's all in relation to this thing, this person, this monster, this, tower thing that is going on, right? And that's also what we're looking at here is the tower burning and the person, So I do. Now, we get out of there. We're getting our distance. Maybe you've already left. Maybe this is like an old thing. I don't know. But I feel that with the distance, then we turn the thing. We have the wizard, the magician, okay? Casting magic. Then we have, what is that guy's name? It's the, is it the Pueblo? It's the guy that plays the flute, the symbol of, what is that called? Coco Pelli. So this is somewhat of a trickster figure. It is much more about, creativity. It has the similar kind of vibes of like ecstatic dance and, kind of like the dervish or even like the devotees of the Orphic traditions. This kind of bacchanalian, maybe kind of ecstasy, not necessarily the intoxication, although that can be part of it, right? Usually we're thinking about like mescaline or peyote or something like that. But we have this energy. This tells me that you are getting back into your creative world. You are feeling again. You are feeling joy. Maybe for the first time in years, right? You feel yourself. People, when they see you, they say, my gosh, you look so great. What have you been doing? Yeah, I got divorced. Or, yeah, I moved into an apartment by myself. And the glow up, right? And the glow up. And so, with the magician, we also have the world builder, right? We have that energy that we all need, right? When we are recreating our life, when we are reestablishing ourselves, when we decide, yeah, it's time to start over, which can be very scary, but it also is such a beautiful experience. So here it is. I feel there's a lot of pain, okay? There's a lot of like turmoil in the heart space. But you will be brave and you're going to get through it. And when you do, there's so much waiting for you. And you know it. I think logically you know. Whatever this thing is that's going on, this dynamic with your boss, with your mom, with your significant other, whatever it is, it's just sucking the life out of you right now. So I see with your departure a lot of healing happening. A lot of healing. Now we also have the bird up here and we have a fish. Okay, so to me, this really says, and again, we're looking at one of those crows or ravens, and it says, sorry, I almost yawned. If you choose yourself and you really put in the work here, the money, the resources are going to flow. The universe is going to look out for you. Period. Okay? Trust in the universe. I know it's not easy. I myself at times find it very hard to make these big changes in life, but it has always been worth it. It has always been worth it without any exception. Even when it's hard. It's just, there's something about starting a new chapter that just, I don't know. So we have the number 200, 200. We also have, it looks like somebody sending a message out. Okay, so you can see the person right here. Here's the head, their little body, their legs down here, and they're letting go of a bird. Okay, so there's a message coming. Something about, I don't know, there's something like somebody who's really into Star Wars or maybe just sci-fi in general. But this looks like one of those things from Star Wars. I don't know what they're called. It's like from when they're in that snow scene and they're fighting and stuff. And I don't know. So anyways, there's Star Wars energy. We have an F. We have, it looks like a bird with some money. So, I wonder if you are going to have an opportunity, maybe somebody that you know has like a gig or like a job for you, something that you weren't expecting, but it feels exciting. Like I feel that you're excited about it. Oh, shoot. Okay, let's do this. We're going to do 3 lucky numbers. Number 8. Number 8. My stomach is growling. I'm sorry. Number 76. Number 8. Number 76. And number 85. Number 85. All right. And then we'll end with our Cincy Child affirmation cards. And I'm just going to flip through. Stop where it feels right. I let go of the things that no longer serve me. I let go of the things that no longer serve me. Get out of here. Oh my gosh. I feel just, the moon is full, very full as we're speaking right now, and I can feel it. I feel it in my core. All right. I love you all. Thank you for spending this time with me. We'll talk soon. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, take care of yourself. Goodbye.